In those days, native people who inhabited the area around Niagara Falls referred to their homeland as the land of the thundering waters.
They believed that the greatest beings, the thunder beings, lived in a cave behind the great falls.
They were led by Hindu, the most powerful thunder being. The falls were an important and scared place for the people.
Life was good in the land of the thundering waters except for one problem. A great sickness came upon the people who lived in the village and no one knew what to do about it. Many villagers died each year.
I'm proud to lead the people of the thundering waters, but there is one problem. The sickness that kills many of my people. What to do? What to do?
The chief of the people had a lovely daughter named Leelawala. She was a pleasant girl with long, floating hair.
My name is Leelawala. I love my village. I try to do my share of the work, and I give thanks to the spectre of the abundance of food that we have and of the great.
One day the chief called his daughter to him.
Leelawala, I have decided that it is time for you to marry.
Leelawala was happy to hear the news.
Oh, my wonderful father! Which of the young bravest will I marry? Will it be the brave roving deer or the handsome hunter of Robin?
The chief answered certainly. You will not marry one of those unworthy men. Particularly in these difficult times, you must have a man of wisdom. You marry the oldest and wisest man in the village.
Leelawala was shocked to hear her father's words. She felt that she could not marry the old wise man, and she pleaded with her father to change his mind.
Oh, father, please, change your mind. I cannot marry a man who smells so badly and so disagreeable.
But the chief and the old wise man insisted that this was the best option for her.
Oh, Leelawala, you will be my bridge, and together we will live for many moons.
The chief insisted that Leelawala carry out his wishes. Leelawala, do not be foolish. Marry the wisest man in the village in these troubled times.
Leelawala pleased with her father.
I cannot live like him, father. Please don't force me to marry him.
But the chief remained firm.
You will marry him! Leelawala did not want to disobey her father or bring dishonor on her people.
She decided that she had to leave her village. Sadly, she ran away, and when she had put some distance between her and the village, she sat down and cried, for she did not know where to go or what to do.
The chief had two big problems now. Sickness in the village and a disobedient daughter. What could he do? After a while, she began to run again. This time in the direction of a mysterious voice that seemed to be calling her. Leelawala, Leelawala, follow me!
She walked and walked, following the voice which led her to the edge of the great river.
I am following, for I am frightened. Oh, who is calling me?
She jumped into the swiftly flowing water that led to the thundering waters. The river took control of Dilawala and forced her closer to the falls.
Down she fell over the falls and into a turbulent water. She was drowned and buffeted by the water. Ninawala was terrified. Suddenly, she leaped softly and softly, and she heard the voice more clearly.
I have saved you, Dilawala. The great thundering waters have taken away your life, but you are safe here. You can live in the cave behind the falls with the thundering beings.
Ninawala lived happily with the land of the thundering beings.
Although she never returned in person to her village, she continued to be concerned about the villagers. So she whispered in her father's ear a secret that she had learned from Inu.
Your people are dying because a giant snake is possessed water they drink. Don't drink the water! Lead all of the villagers out of the village. And when the giant snake comes out of the river, kill it, father!
The villagers moved from the village, and they fought the snake. It wiggled in pain, and as it was dying, it formed a great arcade shape.
The chief and villagers were happy. The sickness was gone and they had a beautiful new voice.
I miss Dilawala, but I know she's near because I heard her voice. Sometimes I think I see her coming out of the mist at the bottom of the falls.
At times, the old chief even called his daughter the Maid of the Mist.